Ladies and gentlemen, this story is extreme. It's morally reprehensible what we're seeing. These young people harassing and intimidating an old man who is just in protest, minding his own business. And we see these young people get up in this old man's face. They're intimidating him. You can see just how awful and vile these young people are. I'm not talking about the MAGA hat thing, no. Oh, I just had this story pulled up. I'm actually talking about this, where this young woman and young man are jumping up and down in front of this old man, and this is an old video, and then she even smacks the old man. That's what I was talking about. That was morally reprehensible. I wasn't talking about the MAGA kids. I made a video about them on my main channel, maybe you saw it, which is basically the whole story is literally nothing. You know, you've probably seen my commentary on this so far, but I wanted to make just like a longer commentary on everything that happened. Let me give you a quick breakdown. Maybe you saw the New York Times talk about this. Maybe you saw some meme claiming that a bunch of young MAGA kids surrounded a Native American man and went to the Indigenous Persons March to intimidate them. Yeah, it's all fake news, but go figure. Apparently, what actually happened is a bunch of young Trump supporter kids, I wouldn't even say all of them are Trump supporters, but many of them wearing MAGA hats, were standing on the stairs of the Lincoln Memorial because, according to their statement, they were waiting for the bus. Their chaperones told them, meet here at 5:30, the bus will take us away. Apparently, a known racist hate group, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, called the Black Hebrew Israelites, were standing in front of them yelling racist and homophobic things at them, including dropping homophobic slurs. Well, there's a 2-hour live stream of it. There is. I made a video about it. Go watch a 2-hour live stream. I don't want to hear, I'm sick and tired of the media claiming all of this. It's nonsense. It's nonsense, okay? I've got friends and family, even conservatives are saying, how dare these kids? How dare they do what? Stand on the stairs? It's absolutely ridiculous. Now look, by all means, argue the kids were being disrespectful to this Native American man. I get it. What I see though is I see a bunch of kids clueless about what the hell's even going on around them because they're all like 14 and 15 years old. And what's crazy is you've actually got people in media saying these men. Are you joking? These are kids. These are children. They can't even vote and they're wearing Trump hats. They don't know what they're doing. They're jumping up and down chanting school slogans. About an hour later, a Native American guy walks up banging a drum and they all start jumping up and cheering and clapping. And according to their statement, they just thought the guy was, cheering for them and banging the drum with them. And the drummer guy walks up to one of these kids and the kid's just standing there with like a confused, when I saw this, I'm like, man, that's a weird look on that kid's face. What really happened is the Native American guy walked up to him and started banging the drum up in his face, and the kid's just like, huh? In no way was this old man blocked. So this high-profile journalist I'm talking to says, well, even with the 2-hour live streaming disproving a lot of what everyone's saying, why didn't the kid just move? And I was like, I don't know. Why didn't the Native American guy just move? Like, it's two dudes just standing there, like literally nothing happened. Why is everyone freaking out about this? But now, let's talk about what we need to talk about. First and foremost, hate, bigotry, racism, anti-Semitism, violence, they have no place in a civilized society. We should condemn hateful rhetoric and hate speech, absolutely. There's a difference between condemning and banning. I think it is absolutely fair to say if any one of these kids, any one of these people is engaging in hateful rhetoric, we should condemn that language, and we'll start with the racist and homophobic Black Hebrew Israelites who are yelling racist and homophobic things, including slurs. Should not be tolerated. Now, I didn't hear anything specifically from the kids, but I only saw this live stream. If it's true that they were yelling hurtful things, let's all condemn hate speech. I don't think that's unreasonable to request. I'll say it again, there's a difference between condemning hateful rhetoric and banning speech. I don't think we should ban the speech, but I do think it's fair to say anybody who wants to show up and get in someone's face and start yelling hurtful, hateful things at them, be racist, homophobic, it's all wrong. Let this video be, in no uncertain terms, a statement by me that all of those things are wrong, morally wrong, and we should oppose them. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about how it's the left right now engaging in a campaign that violates the rules of most of these social networks, that in many areas is illegal harassment and not free speech. Now that we've condemned hateful and hurtful rhetoric, let's talk about what's going on with these kids. So first and foremost, let's condemn the action of these two young people where this woman literally assaults this old man. Now, I don't know how the law works in Washington, D.C., but, and I believe this is in D.C., but in Illinois, assault and battery is when you make contact. Assault is just getting up in his face. So by at least Illinois standards, this is assault and battery on the part of this woman. Where was the Twitter storm? Where was the media outrage? Where was everyone freaking out that this woman literally assaulted an old man who was doing nothing but stand still? It's outrageous. Well, we've got a few important tweets. Oh, that's the statement from earlier. But let's take a look at Mr. Nick Monroe here, who's compiled a bunch of information about threats and threats of doxing against these kids. I want to be very, very careful not to show too much of this because many of what he's compiled violates the rules of basically everything. And so I don't want to show too much, but I will point out for those that aren't familiar, this video that we're watching right now shows the Native American man walking up to that kid, not the other way around. I don't care if you think they're disrespectful. I don't care if you think they were wrong. That's fine. Just know it wasn't the kid who confronted the Native American man. It wasn't the kids who went to the Native American man's event. He came to their, it's not even an event. They're waiting for the bus. Waiting for a bus. So we have a bunch of things here that I want to be really careful about. But basically, you've got petitions, but more importantly, near the bottom of what Nick has compiled, you have high-profile people, okay? You have these people on Twitter making public statements. First, publishing the school's information. That's not a big deal. Publish a school's information, that's fine, it's publicly available. However, they then begin to start posting, posting the address, it's Googleable, I don't think that's a big issue. But what gets disconcerting, for one, there's a lot of fake news, but more importantly, is when you start seeing people pull up the kid's name, his father's name, their place of business. People start sharing photos of him and other photos that they've compared to prove who he is. They're calling for doxing. They're showing images of these kids' faces. They're trying to hunt them down and destroy their lives, and they don't care about evidence or proof. Look at even Kathy Griffin is in on this. This is the nightmarish future we have found ourselves in. I hope you're all excited. And I'm going to say this. There is no bridging the divide. I just think maybe it was possible, but it's not. Some of my high-profile left-wing friends flat out told me yesterday they refused to even talk to me about it, period. I didn't say the kids were right or wrong. I said, what am I missing here? And they said, I am not going to talk to you about it. Okay, then we're done. The Women's March stood alongside overt anti-Semites. Mainstream politicians stood alongside mainstream overt anti-Semites. That is a group I will never stand next to. The Women's March, massive, 500,000 plus people in DC, millions of people marching through the US 2 years ago. Today, anti-Semites, racists, leading the event, disavowal from mainstream celebrities, mainstream members of the Jewish community, like high-profile, I don't mean mainstream, high-profile, and even high-profile politicians, yet still members of the left. So they didn't care. They didn't care about the anti-Semitism. They were going to stand right alongside it. Then we see this moment. The Black Hebrew Israelites, a known hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which we should condemn all hate groups and hate speech. If the SPLC is the standard for what a hate group is, why is the left rallying behind the man who defended them, okay? In the Raw live stream, one of the Black Hebrew Israelites says, "This is our elder, he's come to the rescue," pointing to the native man who comes in between the MAGA kids and the racist homophobes, who are yelling slurs, racial slurs and homophobic slurs. The Native American man gets in between, starts banging his drum. Now, I don't think the Native American man knew what he was defending. He claims he just saw black activists preaching oppression, and these kids were harassing them, so he got in the way. When in reality, it looks like, I'm not going to say who's at fault necessarily, but I'm not going to condemn the kids who are booing the racist homophobic slurs. I'm going to condemn the people who are yelling them. The bridge cannot be divided at this point. I just don't see it. Right now, we have a mainstream left that has decided it is okay to stand alongside overt anti-Semites, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who spoke on the podium of the Women's March in New York City, knowing full well what she was backing by doing so. That's fine if the Women's March wants to say they condemn the stuff, but you have to realize the people on the top who are being empowered by this are overt, public anti-Semites. And that's fine, apparently, to these people on the left. Then they're willing to defend a known hate group simply because the guy was, they're defending the man who intervened on behalf of a known hate group simply because the kids are wearing Trump hats. I refuse to stand alongside a hate group, bigots, homophobes, and anti-Semites. But apparently many people on the left have no problem with it. The media has no problem with it. So what do you think is going to happen then when the culture war, as it continues to escalate? The sides cannot be mended at this point. If I can't even make a simple statement to a friend like, dude, seriously, watch the video, then we're done. It's over. What can be done? People are calling for violence against these kids. It's absolutely terrifying. Why would anyone condone violence against children? You've got to be out of your goddamn mind. And you know what? I fully expect this video will likely get a false flag on it because the activists are hunting down these videos and getting them removed and giving people copyright strikes. Sticks, Hex, and Hammer got a copyright strike for making a video basically the same as this. You know? It's insane. I don't know how many videos I'm going to have coming up, but stick around, maybe 1 or 2 more. I've got to do an equipment run, so I have no choice but to go to the city. My camera broke. I'll see you maybe in a few minutes. Stick around.